Here in the Lloydminster riding, MLA Colleen Young reclaimed her seat in the legislature. Connor Chan has more.
The mood around Colleen Young's campaign office on election night was quieter compared to 4 years ago, with limited people allowed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Results were big for her, with over 80% of the vote going to Young, as she looks forward to continue to represent Lloydminster.
The issues and the concerns that were brought forward to me at the doors is something that I'm planning on looking into and taking forward when I'm back in my seat in the legislature.
Some of the concerns Young heard while door knocking in rural communities included crime, job opportunities in the oil and gas sector, as well as healthcare issues and getting better cell service in those rural communities.
Rural connectivity, our cell tower service with more people doing business from home, including farmers, growing their business from home. That's something that needs to continue to be worked on for this area.
Despite the majority of the vote going to Young, she commends her opponents and their efforts during this election.
For them to put their names forward and stand out there in public and, want to represent the people of this constituency is good on them.
The big focus throughout the campaign was getting the Saskatchewan economy back on track, and it's something Young and the rest of the Saskatchewan Party want to continue to focus on.
I'm glad that we're able to get back to that work as a majority government and make some good decisions to push the economy forward and the recovery of our province through this pandemic. Biggest push was to get the economy recovered to the point where 100% of our people back to work. Our businesses, small and medium-sized business, are able to, keep their employees and, have revenue coming in the door. And I think that's what's really important in this recovery from a pandemic at this point in time.
Connor Chan, Primetime Local News.
Colleen Morel-Henning of the NDP was the second-place finisher in the Lloydminster riding. Jace Mackey has her reaction to the results.
It was the battle of the two Colleens here in the Lloydminster riding, and Colleen Morel-Henning took 11% of the preliminary vote compared to the Sask Party's Colleen Young with 83%. Henning says she's still grateful for the opportunity to run.
I met so many wonderful people. I got a chance to talk to people in Lloydminster and find out what they wanted, what they were passionate about, what they would like to see change.
This campaign was unusual. Taking place during a global pandemic made it challenging, especially for first-time candidates.
There were places you couldn't even go into that I remember going into with our candidate 4 years ago. Seniors centers, the nursing homes, things like that. We couldn't go into places, really. You could door knock and you couldn't hold rallies, you couldn't hold events, you couldn't go to the fall suppers.
While the Sask Party won a majority government and won big here in Lloydminster, Henning says she still believes people want to see some changes be made.
People want to look at something that will stabilize the economy here for the future and look at other forms of revenue, other forms of energy, and how we could become part of the future. That's an example. Seniors, I talk to a lot of seniors on the doorstep who have concerns about the way medical care has been going in Saskatchewan. They want to see that change. I still want to see that change for them. And, that's something that Colleen Young will have to be thinking about.
Henning says she'll be busy working as a teacher and dealing with remote learning, but in 4 more years, you may see her name on the ballot again. Jace Mackey, Primetime Local News.
Steve Gessner, the Buffalo Party candidate in the Lloydminster riding, was unsuccessful in his bid for election this year. This was Gessner's first time running, and he says that this campaign has helped him get a bigger understanding of what provincial politics look like.
It was a very large, very quick learning curve. Didn't expect the amount of workload that it was going to be. Of course, with the party being as new as it is, we didn't have the organization to run such a campaign, but considering that, we've done extremely well.
Gessner also mentions that even though the Buffalo Party wasn't as successful as they had hoped this year, they aren't letting up yet.
This organization is that new that we're not done. This is just the beginning. We know that this province, the people of the province of Saskatchewan, want change. They need to have a government that is accountable to them. And at this point, they just weren't quite ready to make that switch.
He adds that he wants the Sask Party to hold the federal government more responsible for the next 4 years. Saskatchewan Party candidate Jeremy Cockrell won the Battleford's riding in the 2020 provincial election last night. This is the third election win for the Saskatchewan Party in the Battlefords since Herb Cox was in the seat for the last 2 elections. Cockrell believes another 4 years with the Saskatchewan Party's government is best considering their past record.
I think we have clearly the best plan for this province. Our record is strong in terms of growing the economy of this province and making investments that Saskatchewan people are looking for in our public services. So, another 4 years of a Saskatchewan Party government, I think, is great news for this province and great news for the Battlefords as well.
Cockrell has big plans for his term and says the main discussion in the past month on the campaign is affordability for families in the province.
With initiatives like the 10% cut on your SAS power bill, it's the home renovation tax credit, it's the active families benefit. So some of these things that we've been talking about with constituents throughout the duration of the campaign that we're looking forward to getting down to Regina and getting started.
The Saskatchewan Party won the election throughout the whole Northwest area.